Good morning, everybody. We have a world exclusive for you for 2025. This is a brand new, fully custom boat from Board. It's the ISMERIA 45. It's 100% custom deck saloon, specifically for the clients that have brought and designed this boat with their naval architect. It's basically a small house deck saloon on the water. It's absolutely brilliant. Bear in mind that there are still a few things to finish on this boat, you know, like non-slip on the deck, and there's a few bits and pieces like that, so keep the comments light. It's been brought up to the show specifically, and then it will go back to the workshop, have the few bits finished, and then the owners are going off around the world, taking their time for the rest of their lives. I think we ought to get aboard, shall we? These guys set up with a drop-down platform that also doubles up as a crash bulkhead. You can actually see how thick that aluminium plate is. There'll be non-slip to put on here and to finish here. Huge welded aluminium steps there, and just underneath you'll see that there's also a passerelle if it's needed. Massive solar arch on the rear. And you'll see, once again, as I say, there's some bits and pieces to be finished. You'll see the loops where they'll be setting it up for the tender. So to not get into Sarah's way, I'm going to go straight the way forward, and we'll do all the cockpit gear on the way back. Both port and starboard, you have storage lockers. I'll open one so you can see. I don't know if you can see all the way back in there. And it goes out to the exterior hull. So that is mirrored on the port side, and then underneath here you have once again more storage lockers and then access to the steering gear. Seats on the corner, and there's one of your backstays. So aluminium is fully aluminium. I have integrated rail and then cable all the way forwards. If you wanted a full-on handrail, you could. And this is your cabin top above your deck saloon, above your cockpit. There's plenty of space for solar. What I wanted to show up here is part of your line management system coming back from the mast, and we'll do the bit inside the cockpit in a second. But as you can see underneath the Traveller, all your lines, so reefing lines, halyards and so on, deck management system to here to pulleys and then through. When we're in the cockpit you'll see there, but even walking forward you have clip-on point for your harness, and then a handrail that runs all the way forward. Main sheet Traveller, excellent bit of kit. Selden rig, Genoa tracks. I'm going to give you an idea how wide this walkway is. If I come to a sensible point, you should see. I'm going to start bringing a tape measure with me, but I think you've got nearly ½ metre walk rate all the way through. Anyway, very, very practical. To give you an idea, so the handrail, this is your roof. Once again, fully aluminium. There's no GRP on this boat, unlike other manufacturers, like Allure. There is non-slip that is going to be put on the deck. As I said, it's not finished. You can still see the rub marks where they've sanded it back in the factory for the welding. And once again, for their competitors, people always commented on the welding with Allure and Garcia, how terrible it is. You have a look at these welding tracks on here. They're really, really neat and smart. So it speaks volumes, really. When you pay for custom, you're paying for that expertise instead of buying something production. Here you have a self-tacking track that will go on here. And if you want, so forward, I'm a bit all over the place at the moment. So forward you have your main Genoa furler, and then here you'll have a jib. integral double barrel roller, and this is something I'm really enjoying with a lot of the modern boats now. I haven't got a life jacket on, so I'm not going to walk all the way out, but you can walk out on this barrel roller. You see my feet? It's wide enough so you can walk out, attach your code 0, dive off the front if you want, so on and so forth. Big, a lot of space. The owners of this boat have sold everything. It's your windlass and your feet control, electric feet control for your windlass there. They've sold everything, and this is now their house, and their plan is to go off sailing around the world and just to keep going. Forward, you have a crash bulkhead and electrics that's watertight access there, and that gives you access electrics to your windlass and so on. This is absolutely massive. Give me a second, I'm going to get in there. I am in the compartment. It's huge. So you have a watertight bulkhead here forward. As I said, your windlass and electrics and connection is up through here. And then here, so this will be going back into the cabin, you have yet another watertight bulkhead here, and then under my feet there is access to storage. As when people say watertight and so on, this is coming forward. The pipe work is actually all sealed up in there, so there's no water flow back, and that drops down into the bilge, and you have an emergency bilge pump there. Pretty nice bit of kit. Right, give you that all important look aft. So she's pretty beamy. And there's your forward windscreen there, windscreen whoppers. You'll see Sarah in there. It's fully double glazed, fully insulated. You have your twin spreader Selden masts. When they brought the boat round, they brought it round under motor because they're still waiting for the sails to be delivered, which is pretty cool. So granny bars, all important. And then, well, once they have the sails, so we're up on your cabin top, all your sheets, halyards, run all the way aft. You've got a couple of forward, and you'll understand why in a little while. And then back there. And the nice thing is, if I stand up, so you can see, the boom is down here. So you have your sail bag, you know, working at the mast and the boom. It's going to be very, very easy. And then imagine the amount of real estate you have for solar panels. You could have a rainwater catchment system put in if you wish. Right next to me is the RM 1080. I'll leave a link in the corner up here for the test sail. It's a fabulous boat, absolutely fabulous boat. Inboard, outboard shrouds. I shouldn't say this while I'm looking around another boat, but we had a lot of fun on the RM. And coming aft, really, really easy. We're going to start getting into the business end. So you can see they've started to put like the non-slip here and in the cockpit. This boat can come as a 3-cabin version or with workshop. And when we get down below, you will see why. So on the business end, you have a Harken 60 self-tailing winch. There'll be an option to have that electric if you want. So both sides, port and starboard. And then forward, Harken 46 self-tailing winch. And if you wanted, you can have that electric too. Both sides you have bins for your tail ends. Let me know in the comments below what is missing from the cockpit. And it is an option, so you can have it. but there's a very interesting piece of equipment missing. As I say, let me know in the comments below if you spot it. Both port and starboard. So you imagine you got your hard top or custom doghouse that slides back, fully insulated, lined. You got some nice spots in there too. And then this is what I said from the top. So all your sheets and reefing lines come down through. Then you have your bank of clutches here. Pretty evident. So all your sail management system still done in the cockpit. Nice cockpit table set off to the starboard side. Some storage in here. I'm going to have to be quick because I'm going to run out of battery. Oh, I have to get into this some other way. Underneath here you have, so down through here would be a third cabin. And they've got it optioned as storage, and depending on how you set it up here, because they have something else on the inside, you'll see that that's where your access would be, actually down into the cabin.
Guys, welcome to the ISMERIA 45. We are here on board today with Loic from Bord à Bord, the director and business owner. Loic, tell us about this boat and what you have going on at the moment for the chantier.
I start with the chantier first. So Bord à Bord is located in North Brittany, 1 hour from Brest. We are 35 people manufacturing professional boats and sailboats. We do all the aluminium work inside, in-house. We also do the interior work, and we work with different architects, but we also design and do the engineering of many boats, sailboats and professional boats in-house as well. So, and there are plenty of projects in the pipeline. Have a 24-meter long boat as well for professionals who are chartering far north and far south. We started also a SCO 33.
Yeah.
And right now we are designing 2 50-foot sailboats, Aetos 50 and Resolution 50, and we also have other demands. So the sailing boat business is really going well. ISMERIA 45 is a sailboat which was manufactured by which was designed by Vincent Le Bailly. It's a custom boat. Yeah. So the owners really gave us their specifications and how they wanted to have the boat. So there are some very special things like the piano behind me, for example. That's an interesting one.
Yeah.
It's also really a deck-salon, so there are very few aluminium boats which are with a real deck-salon. So you can see here that it's very bright, and you can really see outside. So it's really very interesting. When we were conveying the boat here, it was really nice to see the Brittany coast. That was really great. It's a 2-cabin version with a helm here, and there are options to, if there would not be a piano here, we could have a 3rd cabin, for example, and we could also pilot from outside. These are options. As we do custom boats, we can do a lot of very different things. This is the advantage of I would say aluminium boats.
Yeah, because you're not folding it into a mold. You can make it to any shape and accessories options that the customer would like, provided that it falls within what's possible, la mesure du possible.
Exactly, and because we design with architects who are used to do custom and one-offs, it's the process is already inside. So whether it's Vincent Le Bailly or our own team, we can really do very special.
So this boat you've got under construction at the moment, the 54.
Yes.
Can we come up and see the chantier and have a look?
Yes, sure, yeah.
Really?
You're very welcome.
Excellent.
Very welcome.
Perfect, guys. If it was interesting to you, comment below, and hopefully Loic will let us look around this boat under construction, have a look around the chantier. That would be awesome. Yeah, and the 24-meter, what's that about?
As the 24-meter is, it's for a family who is chartering for 10 years now. they are chartering with their kids are aboard, and you can look online. The name is Life Song. This is the name of their previous boat.
Yeah.
The future boat, the company also. So they can, for example, bring you to Spitsberg, Svalbard, or it could be in Patagonia or Antarctic. So you can go with them for 1 week or 10 days or two weeks, and you can have very great adventures in these regions. So the project is to get a new, bigger boat. To get more people on board. They sold their previous boat, which was she was a Garcia 20 meter long.
Okay.
And right now they launched a new project. So Vincent Lebailly designed the boat. Our engineering team designed the hull because it's a round shape,
Really? Okay.
which is in aluminium can be tricky to manufacture.
Yeah.
And this boat can stay in the ice. So it was designed following the rules from Finland in order, so the ice regulations. So it means that the boat can stay, for example, in Greenland. It can stay, I would say, prisoner of the ice during one season.
So there we have it, bord à bord. If you have any questions for the chantier, if you want to go and see this, have a look around where all the boats are created, conceived and constructed, let us know in the comments below. And Loic will be here ready to answer any questions you have.
Either side, and this boat is set up with a central, standard central heating system. So it's dry heat, so you don't have to worry about fans and condensation. And then one level you do step through, it's watertight. You do step through and straight away you're into saloon and galley. Fridge, freezer, fridge, however you want it. Great fiddles on the Corian worktop. And then a 2-burner gas gimbal stove. Now if you used that, your saloon, your cabin top for solar, you could quite easily have this as an induction hob. As I say, it's fully custom, so set it up however way you want. What I want to do is turn it all off so we don't run out of battery. Okay. What I want to do is show you how much light is coming through on this deck saloon from those big windows. As I say, once again, the boat has got to be finished, which it will be over the next couple of weeks. The light is outstanding. You have 4 main opening hatches in the saloon. If you wanted to, you could ask for more. You could have a huge skylight up there if you want to. As I say, board to board, fully custom. But if you actually have a look at the depth here, and the majority of this is insulated. So thermal insulation, double glazing, you can go anywhere you want. You could have it set up with a lifting keel, centerboard, twin keel, however you want. Once again, board to board, and their naval architects are open to whatever you want. So there is a U-shape settee with a central table which folds open. There is storage within the table. Soft close, pretty standard stuff nowadays. And as I say, on the port side you have a long-chilled galley. Some very deep drawers and cupboards. Twin stainless steel sinks. Standard hot and cold fresh water. You do have salt water if you want it too. There's a bleed off for your water maker and so on. There's just so much to show. It's a fabulous boat. You can see one of your radiators down here tucked under one of the chairs of the saloon. Storage in the middle. So underneath your saloon there is access to one of your water tanks, just to the, got the light on. There's your hot water system, so you can see how much room there is. You can see some of that foam insulation on the hull, so you can configure this how you want. You don't have to have it so high up as a deck saloon if you don't want to. You could have extra diesel tanks, so on and so forth. More storage. Once again, fully custom. You can configure it how you want to. The only thing I would say these guys aren't going to is I would configure your custom boat in the thought of resale. We'll carry on going forward. I'll lift one of these floor panels here for you in the main passageway so you can get an idea down on the port side. Once again, more water tanks and so on. Through holes. You have a look there how high up it's above water level, your through holes and so on for safety. So there's a lot of thought. There's a lot of thought that goes into these boats. I know this is a quick tour. Pièce de résistance. The forward of your saloon, you have a wheelhouse. You can completely manage the systems from here if you wish. Electric throttle controls, bow thruster, your Yanmar engine start stop, navigation and AIS. These are awesome, absolutely awesome, quite expensive but awesome. VHF, and then your Victron screen so you can see how your electric systems are doing and so on. A reading light that does do red light if you wish, and a compass. But you imagine this is your view from here. The weather's really, really bad. You don't have to go outside if you don't want to. I think it's great. And then coming down a couple of steps, on my right I have the electric switchboard. So I'll come back here. So you have, as you can see, you have your main switches. You know, radar, VHF, lights, so on. And they have a simple yacht diagram, which I love, so you can see on your light systems what are on or off. I'm going to turn you around. I'm going to give you a look. Before we go into the bathroom, I'm going to give you a look of your cabin this way. Saloon and galley. And then on the port side, Jabsco manual flush toilet. You can have an electric fresh water if you wish. And then a 9 kilo washing machine. Storage next to it. And as I said, so you have a proper central heating system. So you have hot towel drying here. And then if I come into the toilet, behind the door, you have a separate shower. So no wet heads. It's a good sized shower, thermostatically controlled. Very good. Very, very good. Come out of there. And then directly on the starboard side, you have the first of your cabins. As I say, you can have a 3 cabin version. So here you have a large double for guests. I'd probably actually have my head up this end. But you have a large double for guests. One of the compromises with having that pilot house is you lose some of the room there, but it's not much different than on a Moody. Storage down below. You have a radiator there for your heating. If you wanted to, you're going into hotter climates, you can have air conditioning as well. A hanging locker and an opening hatch up above. And you have more storage just down here. And then if I come out of here, forward you have the owner's suite. So it's a full-on island double berth. Another radiator, nicely tucked out the way. There is storage under the bed and drawer storage here. I don't want to go into it too much because a lot of the owner's personal gear is here. You have storage down here, As I say, even it says, you know, don't open all the cupboards. And then hanging locker. So that's mirrored on the other side. Small library here, you can store what you want. There's storage here, USB charging over there. You have two nice port lights. Now if you wanted to, once again, it's fully custom. If you wanted that all glass, or you wanted some seascape windows put in, you could do what you want. Oak panel, which hides that watertight bulkhead. As I say, you can dress it any way you want. And then this has two opening hatches. So they open different ways in the cabin. So you can get that through draft. All the hatches, I'll pull it from this side, have the fly screens and privacy blinds on them. Right, I think we're going to come out of here. It's a nice cabin. Okay, to give you an idea of head height, I'm 5'8", 5'9", so there's a lot of head height. We'll do that. I'm just being signalled to show that in the saloon as well, so I'm going to come up these steps quickly. It's very easy to get around this boat. And in the saloon, once again, there is loads and loads of head height. Now, one of the custom bits, one of the owners of this boat are museums. One of the custom bits they've put in, because this is their home now, travelling around the world with a tiny house theory, it's really, really good, is they've got an electric piano. So you imagine if you had that third cabin, as I said, outside in the cockpit, this would actually become your access way down into that third cabin on this particular design. I should imagine I've missed some bits and pieces.